Hey guys, how you doing today? Today here we have the Mosin nagant bolt assembly. That's something that I'm going to discuss with you guys today, basically of how to smooth out the cycling process. A lot of times, especially when you get a new one, it can be gritty. It can be, I guess, you get your sticky bolt with your cosmoline and whatnot, and even so, you just want something smooth. You want to polish it up, you want to make it look a little better, cycle a little better. So I'm going to go with you a way to do that. What you're going to need, obviously you're going to need your bolt, your bolt assembly from the Mosin nagant. I guess there's different ways to say that. Mosin, nagant, whatever. I'm American, I live in America, it's simply Mosin. That's what it is. Here it is. Mine's already done. This one is. I guess it could have been a little bit better, but it's actually, from what it was, I don't have a picture from before, but from what it was, it's huge difference. What you're gonna need really is you're gonna need some sandpaper. I started at 180, then I went to, what did I go to? Maybe 250, 400, 600. From 600 I hopped to 1,000. And then I went to, I think, 1,500 grit. You're also going to need some type of oil, nice lubrication. Here you have your rem oil, like this here. I guess CLP will do it, or your other rem oil. The difference between the two that I just showed you, there's a VCI technology supposedly in the other one. So you do have your CLP, you got your Lucas. It just really depends what you guys want. I personally, what I used was this. So you can get that, I don't know, $5, $10, something like that at your store. Also some CLP here, some brake cleaning. And the CLP, why am I calling that CLP? I mean CRC. Let me correct myself, CRC, not CLP. You don't absolutely need this unless maybe you have a brand new bolt assembly, brand new Mosin. Then this comes in handy, degreaser, etc. This stuff right here, I cannot say enough great things about it. This is for everything. Any type of metal, any type of stainless steel, your car, guns, whatever, this stuff is amazing. This stuff is the stuff right here. Alright, you're going to need yourself any type of flashlight. A bore flashlight might work better, but it's really not necessary. $5, something like that. Also, some bore cleaning bristles, brushes, and whatnot. So I have in here, or whatever kit you have, doesn't matter. It's all going to work the same. What you want to do is you want to start to disassemble. There's other videos out there to how to disassemble a bolt and reassemble. Back to the polish job that I did, it's really good compared to what it was. It's not pristine. I guess I could have went better, but you don't really want to take off any material from there. I didn't anyway, so some of those nicks and grooves are really deep, but I really didn't want to go in there and grind them down too much, so I wanted it to be factory, I guess, spec wise. I don't want to take any other material than I have to. Plus, this is going to get sent out to Max Shepard. So, just to let you know what I did when I first got my Mosin, there's plenty of videos out there as well, and information that's good information, is I took it apart, I stripped it all down, cleaned it with some like CLP cleaner of that nature, and then I took apart the barrel as far as off the stock and whatnot, and I filled up a 5-gallon bucket of steaming hot water, about 300 degrees, 350, something like that. I put like a quart of degreaser in there and some Dawn dish liquid. Also, I coated this and the internals with the Dawn just to kind of get in there. So I let that soak, and then like I said, I put the barrel in there as well, receiver end in first, and I had that sit there for about 2-3 hours. Worked perfectly. Cosmoline came up, you could see that. Really did a good job. After that, still not satisfied just because, you know, I want it to be really good. I don't want to have to go back. If you do it right the first time, you won't have to go back a second time. That's my philosophy. So after that, yeah, I still spray like some CLP, brake cleaner, whatnot. Let that soak in there for a while. Probably like an hour or two as well. Then I came back, put some Dawn all over it again, put in some hot water for another hour, rinse it off, was good to go. So anyway, more to the point. What you want to do, you want to disassemble your bolt. I'm not, you know, like I said, I'm already had this ahead of time, just so you know, there's videos all over. Very simple. Your pieces come out. Now, there's plenty of ways to do this. But the screw here, whatnot. The easiest way is use your, I'll call this the guide rail, I guess, when you're in. And I'm sure there's a technical term for it, but it eludes me right now. And it's very simple. You just want to take this, put it on as so, start to spin, and it will release. Just keep doing this over and over and over. Just be careful because there's a spring in there and it is on tension, so this will fly out. One way to keep an eye on it is you can look down there and kind of see where it's at, so you know. Or as long as you just kind of have it pointed safe down too, like that, you should be good. Alright. Whoop, there we go. Parts come out. You have your spring for the firing pin. You have your firing pin itself, as we can see. You have your bolt body. Your safety latch. Here, look like that. And then the head, which is there. Now there's key spots. This is where your Dremel is going to come in, your rotary tool. Hopefully you have one. If not, I guess you could try to use some type of sandpaper. It's going to take forever. But you really want to focus on, let's see, you really want to focus on these spots here. Right around there. And on this side. All the way around. So you want to lightly, you barely want to take any material. Basically you want to smooth it off. Grind a small part if you need to off, just to get any gunk, or you'll notice that how unsmooth it is, and you'll see all the machining marks in there and whatnot. And the same thing on the opposite, you really want to get this, you want to smooth that stuff out really nice. Get that rotary and just zoom, 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 you know, around there. Once you get that nice, that's when you want to take your sandpaper. Like I said, you want to do your 180 grit, sand that stuff as good as you can, real nice. Work your way up, 250, 400, 600, get up to 1,000, 1,500, and you're good to go. But around here, clean that stuff up real good. And the same thing on the opposite end, you want to clean that up real good. Basically everywhere you can. If you look inside here, you might be able to see some marks. And whatever marks you see, it was like tenfold worse if it's going to make it out. I'm not sure it will, but if it does, you know, because the machining marks were just something awful. And now to rub my hand over there, it's almost smooth now. Even though you can, if it picks it up, you can see those marks there. To touch, even though they're visible, is incredibly smooth from all the polish and smoothing out I did. So that helps out. One other area too, this is where I guess the safety, when it slides, because this is your bottom, when it slides from the receiver, you'll feel that grittiness. It's this inlet right here and there's some awful machining marks in there. So you want to take your grinder there to smooth out as best you can. Try to get rid of those marks. I mean, it's really difficult unless you have like this pinpoint accuracy and just the right, I guess, bit, but you can still do a pretty good job. And I managed to get it too as well. And even if you can still see those marks, it's incredibly smooth, incredibly smooth. You can run your finger across it and barely feel any grooves. So that's that. And then of course, everywhere, the whole entire piece, you want to do the same thing. Only the areas here, down that inlet, and around there, and on the opposite side here, is where you want to use your grinder. And just the smooth part, you just want to use sandpaper all the way around, boom, 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 and it's going to do a world of wonders, trust me. So you're going to do the same thing to basically all your parts now. You are going to take your grinder, your rotary tool, or your Dremel, whatever you want to call it, and you want to do inside any grooves, lightly here, especially around parts that contact, like here. You want to get in there real good, and like I said, just slightly Dremel it smooth. You're good to go. Those are really important parts where the pieces connect, right, like right around here, because that's, you know, they slide, for instance, and you want it smooth as possible when they touch, when they go like that, so there's no grittiness, no grind, no machining marks to actually hold up on there. So that's really important. And then basically the body itself, I mean, it's going to spin, so you don't want to use any Dremel here. I mean, I guess you could if you wanted to, but I didn't. I just went strictly with the sandpaper and just worked my way up. And you'll see by the time you start getting to 1,000, it becomes like this smooth area. It just smoothens up so much. It's awesome. Very important too is in here you can use your Dremel right there around that edge and inside that inlet if it makes it out. So that's very important. The other thing is too is you have your your kit, your wire brush, your bore brush, I don't know, whatever you're using. This will help as well. You're going to take a wire brush, whatnot, as you can see, and you're going to get in there like so and just go around and clean out whatever gunk's in there, whatever old, I don't know, rust or buildup or anything, and that's going to help a lot too, because your spring is going to be going in there, alright, and that's going to hit. So that's the thing you want to do as well. Next thing is you got your firing pin, and you can take your Dremel to this slightly. I did, because there's machining marks all over. I didn't take the Dremel to this end, but I did, however, take it to here. I smoothed out all 4 sides with the Dremel as much as I could without, you know, taking any heavy material off. And then I took the sandpaper as well and, you know, smoothed it out real good. Alright, so after all that's said and done, and you get everything back together, you don't have to do this, but what I did was, after sanding and degreasing and all that good stuff, whatever protection was on the metal, you've taken out. It's done, it's out of there. And you know, you want some protection on there. So some of these, I actually have some Royal Purple gun oil or spray, lube, whatever you want to call it as well, and you could use that, but like I said, I used this right here. What I did, they kind of have that anti-rust protection, they say. So metal, even though it's a metal, it has pores. It can soak up. That's part of the reason why that cosmoline is so incredibly hard to get out, is because that after the years, the cosmoline actually soaks into the pores of the metal. So when you've cleaned it and you think you've got it out, you didn't. Because you shoot it, it heats up, cosmoline soaks out of the pores. So the same thing. After you remove like a light material from sanding, all that stuff, you want to put some type of protection back on there. So what I did is I got like a grocery bag, plastic bag, sat on there, and just sprayed this down really good. I just soaked all the parts so it would just almost liquefy. I mean, if you have a small bowl that you could use that, you know, you're not worried about or whatnot, you could actually sit them in there under the the rem oil, which you're going to be using a lot of rem oil to do that. It might be a waste in your case or not, I'm not sure, but that would be even better. But what I did is I soaked them, and I took a lunch baggie, like a Ziploc or something like that, and I threw them all in there. I sprayed even more inside, and I Ziplocked it up. So it kind of creates this pocket where the oil has no choice but just to sit in there. Even if somehow it fumes up, it's going to go back down. And I let that sit for a day. That will soak into the pores, get back into the grooves, and that seemed to work. Now after that, to each their own here. There's a philosophy that I tend to use. I don't follow it to a T, but if it slides, use grease. If it spins, use oil. So in this case, I use grease. Alright, what you want to do is get yourself some nice grease. I guess they got the Shell grease. I don't know if everybody can get it. The 33 MS, that's good stuff to use. What I actually use, because it has an anti-rust protection as well, and I just use it on a lot of my parts actually. It's the Lucas oil. It's the red one. I think it's called Thick and Tacky. So forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's like $5 at any, $6, $7 tops at like any auto store. You'll have enough to last you forever unless you're just using it on your car parts. Now what you want to do, what I did, get yourself a Q-tip, dab in there, and you basically on the inside, like any hole, I guess you want to say, in there, you can put a little extra. You can dab in there, get it around real good. Inside here as well, you can put a lot, thicken it up if you want. Same thing here. On the outside, I put a thin layer, just a thin layer. Make sure that every spot that you use the grinder on, like I said around here, to put some grease. 100%. Some people recommend putting a lot there, and whatever squeezes out, just wipe it off. That's up to you, I guess, how the application that you want. But every groove, every nick, every cranny, make sure to put some grease in there, or oil if that's your thing. Alright, same thing here, all around, grooves in every nook, every cranny, boom, boom, boom. Your pin, same thing, back and forth, all over here. The next thing, I don't have it here in front of me, but the barrel, what you could do. Now the receiver of the barrel, where this bolt assembly will go into, that's kind of machined a little off too, because not off as in spec, but off as in they could be taken a better care, I guess. So one thing you can do, if you're really feeling frisky, get your grinder, grind out, like I said, don't take any, take a tiny bit of material, you don't want to take a lot out, and then refinish it. But by doing so, whatever, I don't know if that's blued or whatnot, you're going to be taking that coat off and the bare metal will be exposed. So you'd either have to paint it or re-blue it. If you don't want to do that, which I didn't, take, I don't know, I think I took 2,000 to 2,500 grit. Take a piece off and get in that receiver and just sand it with that. If you feel more safe by wetting the sandpaper, you can do so as well, and just kind of smooth that out, almost like you're just buffing it out to be a little bit smoother, and that will help as well. So after that, you're going to put everything back together, your bolt assembly, and put it in, and it should be good to go. Now after I did it, it was, I'm not going to say it's 100% better, but it was definitely a good 75% better. Before, you know, when it goes in and you turn it down, you lock it in place, it was a little bit tough. Now it's just so smooth, it comes out, and I suspect that after I get this back from Max Shepherd, it's going to be even better. So if I missed anything, let me know, guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, let me know. If you have any tips for me, put it in the comment section. I appreciate it. Anything else, any products that I use or that you want to know about, just don't hesitate. And that's it, man. As always, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.